How are every one of you doing? Please accept our gratitude for returning to Crypto Blitz. Here is where you can satisfy your craving for cryptography. I am Ripple Van Winkle, and I am the one in charge of you. To everyone, I hope you are all having a wonderful day. People, we pulled it off. This is Friday's day. It is now the weekend here. It would have been preferable if today were Friday, which is the day when you receive your pay. It's not, but are you aware of what's going to happen the next week? This is a very nice salary check. Over the course of the weekend, you ought to have some fantastic plans. Attend a baseball game played in a minor league on Saturday. It is not a problem. Thus, I will be able to be extremely hot. It is not a surprise. On the other hand, you ought to go to the on Sunday morning, listen to what I have to say. On the contrary, they provided me with a free play of $175. The deadline is on Sunday morning at 7 o'clock. Assuming I am correct, all that is required of you is to be present at the machine and download the deal, get up at 5 or 5:30 and arrive at the casino at 6 or 6:30. Into your account before 7 o'clock in the morning, which is when it closes. It is now time for you to depart. Getting to the casino early is something I enjoy doing because it gives us more time to hang around. After a period of 4 or 5 hours, we will be required to mount the vehicle and depart. The entire day is still in front of us to be spent there. Yes, I believe that to be the case. I have such things in mind. Rather than that, watch this video. Would you say that the markets are going to go up? Could you be a bear prepared for the next significant increase in the value of Bitcoin? This appears to be on the verge of taking place. We appear to have accomplished a number of significant objectives. It is possible that we will go for Bitcoin. I may have what you require. A son, Justin. He has decided to invest his money on his Tron token maker that is based on a wicked coin. By doing this, he is imitating what Solana did. There are certain individuals who David Schwartz is going to correct. I've been actively disseminating that erroneous information. Following that, Stuart Alderoty will discuss the Ripple VS CC case and provide us with his thoughts on the future of the case, as well as what to anticipate in the event that an appeal is filed. Right away, let's get started with the Bitcoin. Now, there are 58,458,000 points, which is a 63% increase over the past 24 hours. There is currently a value of $2,616 for Ethereum. There's been a loss of 0.86%. The result of this is that the USDT and USDC currencies are once again tied to the dollar. The value of XRP has experienced a little decline. The goal of 56 cents is to return to 57 cents, and we should be able to achieve that goal if we are able to work at 66 cents. There are currently $2.80 trillion worth of cryptocurrencies available on the market. Jeffrey XRP is my name, and I have 6 billion of them. I was wondering if anyone is interested in purchasing Velo. You ought to have a look at this enormous list of bicycles that I transported the day before. I'm about ready to make a transfer here. Let's check the price, shall we? It is my belief that we observed a small portion of a pump. We fulfilled the obligations that were placed upon us. When we were at one point, we were up almost 20. In spite of the fact that we come up from a sentence, we are still up 8. To roughly, let's assume we came quite near to the target. 0.013 is not at all deficient. Velo is a long-term play for me, so have a look at it. With regard to me, each of these cryptocurrencies is a purchase for the long term. If I buy it today and then sell it tomorrow, it makes no difference to me. Not only am I interested in purchasing it right now, but I am also curious in what will occur during the altcoin bull run of 2025. I do believe that Velo can be a straightforward 20x to 30x. A few months ago, we witnessed this creature moving, so it is true that they do change. It jumped from being worth 1 penny to being worth almost 3 pennies in an instant. At some point between the end of this year and the beginning of the following year, it is possible that a large exchange similar to Binance would list on Velo. Sun places a wager on meme currencies using his token generator that is based on Tron. It is stated that meme coins have become a significant adversary of the recent bull run in the cryptocurrency market. It is impossible to have a bull run without them. Both the fact that your son Justin is still alive and the fact that no one has filed a civil lawsuit against you are incomprehensible to me. If I may be frank, he constructed an entirely new base that will live up to the standards set by Solana's pump.it as Thon. It would appear that he has gained a great deal of knowledge from Solana's meme coin narrative, in which his price significantly increased due to the fact that everyone was producing them. He is proceeding in the same manner. It appears to be featured on the Tron band. What is the next thing that we are going to watch? To all of you, joke coins are going to be added to the Tron platform. Given that these jokes are about cats and dogs, it is quite probable that there will be a greater number of both. Our next step will be to broadcast it on the radio. I would like for this video clip to be displayed. In the event that the SEC presents a case, what would happen? Watch out for this. You know, if the Securities and Exchange Commission were wise, they would just move on from this issue. The judge stated once more that there were no victims and that no one that was involved in this case suffered any kind of loss. We have not received any allegations of fraud. In this particular instance, nothing assists the SEC in performing its primary function. When it comes to crypto, however, we are all aware of that fact. That is not a logical argument as demonstrated by the SEC. In point of fact, the court that considered our case reprimanded the SEC for engaging in dishonest behavior and playing games in court rather than adhering to the law. This would not come as a surprise to me if the SEC did in fact file an appeal. Let me begin by stating a few things, however. In the first place, I believe that it is beneficial for everyone to be aware of and comprehend this. In addition to the fact that XRP is not a security, it is also possible to trade it on the secondary market without it being considered a security. There will be no change to that rule of the land, regardless of what the Securities and Exchange Commission does. I would like for everyone to pay attention to that particular point. On top of that, I would advise them to consider whether or not they are appealing. One more time, I really hope that they don't, even if they are a reasonable person, they shouldn't be doing that, but they are. The Court of Appeals, and more especially the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, is the most likely venue for the resolution of this matter. Cannot reverse decisions made by subordinate courts more than 10% of the time. Considering that Judge Torres examined each and every issue in this case with great care and consideration, we are certain that any appeal would be compelling enough for the Securities and Exchange Commission to respond to. Once more, if I were working for the Securities and Exchange Commission SEC rather than Ripple, I would. It is my opinion that they should not submit an appeal. From the very beginning, this lawsuit had an excessively broad scope. They have a poor history of performance. I would advise the Securities and Exchange Commission to cease worrying about things that do not have a negative impact on investors and instead concentrate on its primary responsibility, which is to safeguard investors in the market. The only thing that was detrimental to the market was, of course, the damage that you did by filing a lawsuit. If I were the Securities and Exchange Commission on a good day, if I were you, I would avoid going to the Supreme Court. With this Supreme Court, there is practically no possibility that they will be successful in implementing any of their objectives. As an illustration, they do not believe that a token by itself can be considered a security. This is not the case. In contrast to, for example, a community, a token is not the same thing. A great number of suggestions have been made on the ways in which the securities law could be expanded. The courts of appeal will continue to reject them, and in the end, the Supreme Court will also conclude that they are not worthy of consideration. And that's it. It was Stuart himself who made this statement. Honestly, he did an excellent job. Do you think you would file an appeal if you were going to receive a check for $125 million? No, I won't be doing to. This is one of the most significant deals ever made. I will not communicate with you again unless you give me $125 million. I'll loan you $125 million, and I seriously doubt that I'll ever hear from you again. Regarding this situation, please take note that they are not appealing it. They flash brightly and hang around as if they have won. In the event that they did not believe they had won, why would they appeal? According to what I've heard, they are not making any money. It will be $125 million for them. $125 million in total, and as Stuart described it, you were able to hear their thoughts. It was at that moment that Charles Gasparino let his big mouth out and said something that I have no idea what he was talking about. Even more than that, he had no idea what he was saying. Do you happen to have heard that interview? It took 45 seconds for me to make an attempt to understand what he was thinking. He continues to be of the opinion that XRP is a risky thing. Through it all, he is convinced that the judge was in the wrong. Some individuals continue to have the belief that XRP is a security, and the only way to satisfy their expectations is to refer to it as a security. On the other hand, Stuart and Brad stated that XRP is not a bond and will never be one in the future. As I have stated numerous times before, this case is now closed. We are almost to the point where we can cash this check. A loud bang sound can be heard occurring after the check has been cut.